Hi, I'm Matt,
Hi, I'm Edmund.
and today we're here to talk about the Kevin Ware injury. Before we begin, we'd like to show you the clip of the Kevin Ware injury, but for those who don't like seeing broken bones, please look away.
Last 6 points to the Cardinals. Oh, there's the shot right there for three. Thornton, he's been a presence from outside during this tournament. Now 5 minutes. Last 6 points to the Cardinals. Oh, there's the shot right there for three. Shaking up because the Cardinals just visibly fatigued. Completely shaken. You saw it on the backside there.
At first glance, what you can initially see of the Kevin Ware injury is that it is a compound fracture on the tibia and fibula, two bones in the leg. A compound fracture is a type of open fracture where the broken bone is exposed to air. You have seen that the tibia and fibula break into two places, but the bone fracture is too large to have been created by the collision of Kevin Ware and the ground alone.
It turns out that basketball athletes are constantly putting their bones under stress through high-intensity exercise. It accumulates all this stress, and that's what makes the injuries much more severe when they do come down.
Well, this is a model of a tibia or a shin bone, the same bone that Kevin Ware fractured yesterday. And basically, they described it as a compound fracture, which means that part of this bone, when it broke, actually projected out through his skin. For those of you that saw it on TV, it was pretty grotesque and pretty obvious that that's what happened. There's no way you can really put a number or a value on how much pain he was having, but I would imagine it's actually a fairly painful thing to have. You have nerve endings on the bone, and in addition to that, there's a lot of injury to his muscles and his skin as well, so all of that is quite painful. A stress fracture, if you keep playing on it, can lead to a real fracture. Of course, we don't know what his symptoms were before he fell, but that's certainly one explanation for why this may have happened. Saying the surgery is successful at this time means that when they lined up the bones and put it back together, they were pleased with the alignment of the bones and they felt like they were able to get everything back together. That doesn't mean that it doesn't speak to his recovery. I think that this is somewhat of a career-threatening injury, and the reason is because even if his bone heals well, the question is, will he be able to regain the strength in his muscle to make him be able to jump and have the athletic ability that he had before? And that's a big question mark, and we won't know, I think, for 9 to 12 months whether he's able to come back to basketball.
I honestly didn't feel pain. It was more so a shock. Like I've never felt like anything like that in my life. He was like, I jumped so high and kind of looked back to see if the shot went in. I had no idea where my foot was going to land. So me just thinking like, oh, I always do this a million times, I never thought that when I looked down at my leg, it'd be broke, and it was crazy. And looking at the guys around me, like Russ and Shane and all those guys just started crying. Like it was just something in me. Like I had to pull out.
What did it mean to you to wake up and see that trophy there?
Honestly, it meant everything to me. They went out there and did that for me, And I just, it's words can't explain, I love those guys to death, I wouldn't trade them in for the world. Those are the brothers I never had. I had to really just ask myself, like, is this a test, or like, is this supposed to happen? Like, what's the meaning behind it? But everything happens for a reason, like I've always told myself, And sooner or later I'll find out, But I kind of feel like this is just an obstacle. It's not something that's going to keep me out from all